because I think you really need to understand how momentous and incredible this is. Alan Tudyk came up with this idea in Fillian's kitchen, and obviously it was, you know, they've been doing a lot of sci-fi conventions, so they came up with this idea, and they basically just went into the world via Indiegogo and said, hey, can we have a little bit of money for this? And they raised $3.2 million, which was the third highest crowd-funded film across all platforms, and it was made possible entirely by people like you. 46,000 people about, so thank you for doing that, because I know several months before I had heard about the idea, and I talked about it at the end, and it was an amazing idea. And it really is, you guys, like the Laugh Olympics of every person that you love in one thing. And as you can see, there's a lot of chairs here, there's a lot of people that are going to be on the panel. We got some time, we got some runway, we got about an hour and a half, so line up, we're going to do questions in a little bit. But I do want to point out that this is the first web series ever to take the stage at Hall H, which is a huge deal. And as I introduce this panel of 14 people, you will understand why. First of all, let's bring out Seth Green! Right behind Seth Green, Michael Trucco! Right behind Michael, my dear friend from the G4 network, R.I.P., Allison Hayslip! Yeah, start here. You will recognize this next man from his face and also his voice, Nolan North! Also making his, I believe this is the 7th con that he's been to, Casper Van Dien! Ah, crap. Did I?
Chris.
Yeah.
Listen, I got information before I walked out here to leave 2 seats at the end of the panel. I didn't realize they were all going to be named. Now this is very awkward.
It's awkward, yeah, that's fine. You know, let's just figure it out. Most of the hour and a half will just be people figuring out where they're supposed to sit.
Please save all of your questions. We got to sort out
tons of time for this. I'd also like to bring to the stage someone that I know you guys know, Trisha Helfer! Also, the amazing and hilarious Mindy Sterling! My dear friend and sometimes co-worker, Felicia Day! Sincerely, one of my oldest friends in the world and my old roommate when we were in college, Will Wheaton! God. Thanks for Kermit flailing out onto the stage, Will. Yay! Yay! Also, I want to bring up some of the makeup and effects guys. Let's first bring out Barry Bishop! Followed by Billy Brooks! Also, PJ and Sky Hosma! A young, up-and-coming actor that I think you guys are going to enjoy by the name of Nathan Fillion. And then finally, the man whose idea birthed this in Nathan's kitchen. Please welcome to the stage, Alan Tudyk!
Wait a second. If you tell us to leave 2 seats at the end and then you sit on that end, then we just look like jerks.
So why don't you come down?
There's two seats saved for you guys at the end of the table.
He's got me. Slide down.
Quick like lightning. Okay, now, Michael, you trained with Will. Felicia, you trained with Seth. Nolan, this must be...
By the way, this is now the first and last web series in Hall H.
You guys, just very important, I gotta address this, I'm sorry.
Drain out of it.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold the phone. Alan, you're wearing the wrong costume.
Wait, what are you talking
I'm saying this character that the costume you're wearing is, he's sleeping. With baby Jesus.
Sorry.
Alan, you misunderstood. You misunderstood. You're playing a new pilot now.
Oh, you mean Cash?
I mean Cash.
You mean this guy?
Not enough room.
There we go. There's ketchup on the floor over here. Just, it's gonna be clean up on aisle 5. Thank you.
That is amazing. 2 jumpsuits in the heat of San Diego.
Thank you.
July.
I'm also wearing long underwear. Just, you know,
It's a good idea.
keep it hot.
So this is Cash.
Yes.
Cash is the character that you play in the web series version of a show that's not at all, if there's any people from Fox here like Firefly, show called Spectrum.
Yes.
So people haven't really seen anything yet, right? Because you did the campaign and then you guys
Right.
immediately started shooting, and
Right.
so no one's really seen anything of Con Man yet.
Why don't we show them?
This is never before seen footage. They literally just finished putting it together 20 hours ago. This is fresh out of the oven as possible. Let's take a look at a sneak peek of Con Man! Surprise myself in the future. So enjoy that. Alan, congratulations on the series. It looks genuine. It looks amazing. So
you very much.
how did you, where did the idea, like really what's the story behind the idea, and how did you get it from Nathan's Kitchen to Hall H?
That is a good question. I started going to conventions right after Firefly was canceled in 2002. Boo is right. It's not new news, but yeah, it still sucks. So I started going to conventions then, and then I was coming to conventions from an outsider perspective because I was in New York without a TV and thinking I was all artistic. And did Firefly, got introduced, Nathan invited me, and it was fantastic. And then slowly over time, it just started germinating. You just started looking around. A lot of people will look around at the conventions and say, God, somebody needs to make a show about this because it's so much fun, it's so fantastical, you could do a comedy. There's so many amazing characters, especially behind the scenes. So it just slowly, every convention I would go to, I go, oh, that's an idea. Oh, I could do that. Like the doll convention was a real thing in Florida, and it's just like that. I was
Florida, say no more.
Okay. So it happened like that, and then it was also an opportunity to get in a spaceship again with this guy, and it's kind of a backdoor way of getting on a space show.
But I feel like you got, this would have to be the group to make a show like this, because most of the entertainment industry, when they look at our little bubble, they don't represent it in the right way. They sort of make fun of it, as opposed to like they're laughing at us, as opposed to like, no, we're all part of this community, and these are, like we can laugh with each other about what they're like. So I think it was just the right person hadn't come along to really have the insider point of view.
Well, it's, thank you. And totally agree. But it was also the crowdfunding. We could have been made through normal studio just for those same reasons, that this gave us a lot of control to make it the way we knew it should be made, because we've been going to conventions for over a decade. And so it wasn't a foreign idea to us. We've been meeting fans for so long that we felt like we could honor it and poke fun at it in a fun way, like the Tooth Fairy who burned down his village. I've met a lot of amazing fans who have actually had a connection with Firefly, and it's changed, it helped them through tough times, whether it's a soldier or someone, just whatever, different things from different people. And so that's a guy who had a tough time, helped him forget about his village because he burned it down. And so it's the same, it's the world and taking some reality, a little nugget of reality, and going just a little bit farther, because the world allows for so much fun.
Did you ever pitch it to television?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the crowdfunding happened, you raised $3.2 million, did you call those studios and tell them to S on a D because you just raised $3.2 million and that they're wrong and stupid?
Can we say S on a D?
You can say S on a D. Yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
That could mean a lot of things.
Slip on a donut. That's what I'm
You go slip on a donut, sir!
in your F.
In my F.
Your falafel.
Oh, good, right. Sorry, I was born without an F. I don't like to talk about it.
No, I did not, but I'm hoping this amazing turnout in this impressive venue. They can come to their own conclusions. I don't need to stoop to that level.
So let's start going down the line, Nathan. When this idea, when it came to fruition in your kitchen, would you immediately go, "We have to do something with this. I need to be involved with this"?
I remember saying I remember the day when Alan stole my idea. And listen, how did I say it earlier? They say a little hard work never killed anyone. I say, why take any chances? But Alan wasn't afraid to say, no, you know what? I'm gonna call PJ up right now and get him to do some hard work. It was an idea that Alan would not let it die. And soon enough, he had written a couple of episodes. The first one he polished up really nicely. He cast a little read through. We went to his house and it was really enjoyable. We really liked it. And it just never stopped until these guys took over, and then it really didn't stop.
Yeah, my girlfriend has had to listen for quite some time now, sentences that start with, "In con man?" Oh, I got an idea, "In con man?" It's been going on for a while. It's really, I haven't caught up with this. I can't catch up with this, guys. What the hell?
And I think when you look at the panel of people here, and also obviously in the trailer, there's a ton more people. It feels like this was a thing that everyone already wanted to do, whether or not they knew it. It was like, oh, well, we have to get in there and make fun of ourselves, play around with this world.
You were almost in it several times.
I wanted to be in it so bad, but my work schedule is oppressive, and I don't have a life.
You do a lot of work.
It's on cable. It's not a big deal. It's dumb. Yeah, I talk about zombies and give out points. It doesn't matter. But it's shut up! I say points. You don't say points. How dare you? That's my art. So let's just kind of go down the line and find out like how everyone got involved, and was this a type of a show that you had always thought should exist? Let's start with you, Michael.
Well, what you said just now, that everybody wants to be part of this, and I don't think, Alan, you realize how much we all wanted to be a part of this. It was actually this year at your birthday party, at Nathan's birthday party, when PJ approached me at a party, the producer down there, and he says, he goes, Kirko, Alan's kind of reluctant to ask, friends for a favor. Would you want to be, maybe do an episode or just do something in comment. And I'm looking at PJ going, dude, I will be the busboy who brings more butter to the table. I would do this in a heartbeat because I feel like this is tapping into the zeitgeist right now of this popular culture, and this is a kind of show that people are going to want to be a part of. And it was such a no-brainer, man. And I got to just tell you, I'm so grateful to be here and to have been a part of it. And my favorite part of the story is that I worked before Trisha did, and she told me that Alan was talking about the scene that I had with Nathan, and he goes, I didn't know Truco was funny. So maybe that's why you were reluctant to ask me.
He's hysterical. He's not in this trailer. We're going to hopefully be able to put him out, and there's going to be a couple more trailers as we near September 30th. And he's hysterical. It was like a 1.5 to 2-page scene that is now a 5-page scene because you and Nathan, you play a cop who pulls Nathan over, and so much of what he does was his own thing. Coming up to the car, sir. Put your hands on the put your hands on the wheel. Oh my God, you're Jack Moore. I almost shot you.
You did? He's a cop with aggression issues.
Yeah. Sure. I'm working it out.
But I mean, that's very sweet. But all that being said, the skeleton, the framework of this thing is because of Alan and because of his genius. It's true, man. It's absolutely true. It's fantastic.
Can we say Schmenius or something like that? Because Schmenius.
Seth Green?
Oh. Hey, what's up, guys?
Who do you play in the kind of...
Oh, I said I'd do whatever. Honestly, it was kind of the same theory. I had picked up that Funko wash last San Diego Comic-Con. I told Alan I had it for him. And then he was like, oh, we should grab dinner or something. And then like 8 months go by. And then eventually he's like, hey, we should do that dinner. And while we're at dinner, he's like, hey, I know everybody's not really into crowdsourcing stuff, but what if we crowdsourced like a really cool project and got all the people that we know in it, and it was about cons? And I was like, yeah, all right, literally whatever you want, I'll do it. So I play comic store owner,
Casey Wingwall,
who's hosting a mini con. And I got Michael Dorn and Kevin Grevious on stage doing epic characters, and then Alan's in the middle doing characters from a show that nobody saw that was old and had incredibly outdated interpretations of ethnic stereotypes.
What's up, bitch? Y'all didn't see that? What's up, bitch?
No,
that was the cartoon.
The panel is called something like Exploring Bigoted Imagery in Hate Art.
I think that you contributed to that name, didn't you?
Did I?
Wait, it was on the thing, maybe.
Sure.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
how
take
much-
credit for anything in this. No, this was all your idea, dude.
But it was
we're just your puppets.
Basically, you had written it. Who was involved? Who was everyone who was involved with the writing process, and how much did you guys riff on set?
I wrote them, and then there was a lot of riffing on set. Nolan North, I don't think he has one line that I wrote. Maybe 1, 2.
So he doesn't respect authority. That's good.
Yeah, he plays. I mean, he'll tell you he plays Jerry Lansing, the mocap king, who's the second best motion capture artist in the world. I'm that son of a bitch, Andy Serkis.
Charlatan.
He's taking all the good monkey roles, man.
Yeah.
That's all he does. Monkeys.
You want a monkey, call him. Yeah, people, it was really free since there was nobody in charge but me, and PJ and Nathan. We could just say whatever we wanted. Like Milo Ventimiglia, you saw him on his motorcycle. That's his. He showed up to work in that motorcycle. I was like, hey, well, can we just put that in here? He's like, love to. Let's put it in there. And then that was that. And can I put some yogurt in? I'm going to put some yogurt in this dumpster. And then costume's like, no, you can't. You're going to get it on your shirt. We only have one of those. Yeah, I just talked to the director. He said it's okay. So easy.
Did you like having that much responsibility where you were supposed to be the guy with all the answers? You know what I mean? Like everyone's looking at you because it's your project. Was that overwhelming, or did you kind of glide into it seamlessly?
No, I didn't glide. There was no gliding. It is amazing when you're when you're wearing all of those hats, how much needs to be cleared through you. I couldn't believe it. Walking across set, everybody would grab you and go, this cuff or this cuff. Here's the mock-up for the spaceship thing. Oh, that's great. Oh, Alan, we need to work on the stickers. This is going to be at we have Baycon and we have XCon, are two of our cons. And here's the signage for that. This color and that color. We just never. It was really unbelievable. And then you're walking on the way to the set to go, all right, let's do this scene. So it was overwhelming. But what? So is this.
No. How many episodes did you end up making?
It was 120 minutes, so we kind of called it a movie as we were going along, because it felt like a movie. So it's 12 10-minute episodes, but they're written as half-hour episodes with 3 acts. So we're releasing them that way too, with 3, releasing TOO in 3 episodes at a time, so you can watch the story arc. And so we did 4 half hours.
Excellent. Allison Hayslip,
Yes.
one of my dear friends from the now defunct G4 network.
R.I.P.
May it rest in peace.
Yeah.
So what do you do in con man and how did you get involved?
Well, I was actually here in San Diego about a month and a half ago. My friends got married down here on a Friday night, and Saturday morning I was very hungover and driving back to LA, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from Alan Tudyk, and I assume it's a butt dial. So I'm like, why would Alan be calling me at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning? And we get on the phone and he's like, Allison, what are you doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week? I'm like, I'm gonna be in New York, why? He's like, oh man, I wanted to offer you this role on Con Man. I'm like, I'm canceling my flight, I'll be there. So I found out less than 48 hours beforehand that I was shooting, and so what I found out 2 days later was that I am Faith, and I am Jack Moore's assistant, his personal assistant, but Jack Moore is never where he's supposed to be, so instead I show up and Jack Moore is on FaceTime. You know.
What was your experience like working with this group?
Oh, it was amazing. Well, I was there day 1, right? We were day 1 of shooting, and we set up the first scene, and Alan's like, okay, action. And I actually had the very first line recorded on the entire show, and it didn't occur to me until after we cut that first scene that I was like, oh, that was like a lot of pressure, Allison. You just kicked off this whole thing, because it was 1 line in that entire scene too, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allison,
Yes, you did.
would you take us there?
I know. But let me tell you, day 2 on that set, we spent like 7 hours in a heated saltwater infinity pool in Malibu in the most perfect weather ever. And it was like the greatest day of my life. I was like, nothing changed, please, ever. They were like, we're not gonna shoot for 15 minutes. You wanna get out? I'm like, no, staying in the pool is way cooler than going back to makeup, you know?
Do you want to go to the
Did you get
back?
super pruny by the
Oh, I was so waterlogged driving home that day. You know when you have like water stuck in your head and you're just like driving on the 405, like trying to shake it out? Worth it.
Casper, how did you get involved with the project and who are you?
It's Nolan.
Oh, no, but Nolan said stuff before.
He's the second most popular after.
Behind that son of a bitch, Andy
Yes,
Serkis.
yeah. After
Yeah.
Monkey, I was Tarzan, so I was another monkey. Go ahead. No.
No.
Tell them how we met.
I was their 4th choice.
Nolan and I met when we were recording Young Justice the first time.
Yeah.
And then we worked together motion capturing, what was that? Uncharted. And I was going to be in Uncharted. You're the main dude.
I am the main dude.
In Uncharted and so many other things. You've known Nolan from so many other things.
No.
If you knew what he did. So I had written a character named Nigel Thrice, who was the second best motion capture person, and then when we started motion capturing, you were doing this character named Jerry Lansing, who was also a motion capture. He was mocap king, and it was a very similar character to Nigel Thrice. And after a couple of months of working together, it was just obvious that you had to play Nigel Thrice, and we changed his name to Jerry Lansing. And I mean, you had been living the character for years of being mocap king, Hello, I want to say Jim.
Well, Jerry Lansing was a character that, in between takes of this Uncharted motion capture game, just to cut up and goof around because I could, just came up with him. He's just this, pompous, self-righteous, never knew anyone, but Adam, Norman, good to see you. Love your work, Sean.
Thanks, Gary.
And it was literally just something that I would make up stuff just to keep loose. And when Alan and I worked together, it's along the same lines as everybody else's story. He said, well, would you do this? It was like, absolutely. I'm like, do I have to pay you? Do I need to be clothed? It didn't matter. It was an unbelievable opportunity because in all the on-camera stuff I've done, I'm always the doctor or the lawyer, or I don't get the part. And this was my first opportunity in I think almost 20 years to do something funny, and that's who I always felt, that's where I belong. So I mean, I owe so much. I'm so grateful, as is everybody, I'm sure, but so grateful to be doing this, and I think people are going to absolutely love it because he's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and just the stuff he does.
He hasn't met many people, though, really. People try to stay away. And Casper plays the bartender. the bartender. 4 different times. You're the perpetual bartender in every... it's at a bar, and then we go someplace, and he's the bartender at another place. Another episode, there's a bartender, he's always the bartender. Wherever we go. God bless you for doing that.
Hey, best job I ever had.
He's your Love Boat Isaac character, basically. No matter what deck they're on, that guy is there.
Yeah.
And how he gets around
like
the
a
boats.
hologram.
Yeah. First of all, Casper, damn your perfect face, hair, and jawline. How dare you come in here with that? But what was the experience like for you, and how did you kind of weave in, and what did you bring?
They just asked for my jaw to come in, and it's the first school of acting I went to. It's just for the jaw.
It's perfect.
And so luckily I didn't have to speak in this.
It smells good too.
Casper, that's that.
This is what I do in the movie, in the show.
Yeah.
He's just making drinks. He's just making 10 a bar. That's what bartenders do.
This is all I do.
His role is
Casper, cradle the bottom. Just cradle the bottom. Yeah, take that off. Yeah. Damn it. Yeah. No, come back to him. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, wipe that off.
Casper, just so your role is much larger. If we do more of these, there's a reason you are someone important. Thank
you. I always wanted to be someone important. Now I've got validation here at Comic-Con. You all heard it. I finally validated. It's only taken me 27 years. Yeah.
Yep. What? Yep.
I got I'm not validated anymore.
No, you're
just
validated.
Oh, you're absolutely validated. You're a big character.
I know. No, it doesn't make sense. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. My manager called me up and he said, "Hey, do you want to do this thing? You get to work with these people here, and you don't say anything."
You have one line. You've got one line. You've delivered it amazingly.
I have one line.
It sort of feels like the whole thing is populated with basically just everyone that people love. Just like it's like a love letter to cons and fan favorites. It sounds like there's like everyone is someone that people love and recognize.
Yes, and a lot of people play versions of themselves. Sean Astin plays himself, but he's like a heavy drinker, and he gives bad advice. That's not Sean Astin at all. Milo, I hope if we could ever, I have plans for his character too. Even just off set, they had 4 passports and some foreign currency that was going to possibly be part of his character. That he's just going through the passports. He picks up the phone. Yeah, the bear walks in the woods. It's worse than I thought. Throws his cell phone down, destroys it. What the hell is going on? Don't ask too many questions, Alan. So, I hope to have him rappelling down buildings and stuff. Will is not, his character is not incredibly large in this incarnation, but he's a smuggler, and he would appear in another episode that's actually very close to being, it's halfway finished. So yeah.
Excellent. Trisha, how did you get involved with the project? And do you play yourself or do you play someone else?
Well, first, as having been to some conventions myself, I always thought there was a plethora of things that you could do. So it was quite a few months ago, actually, that I got an email from Alan saying that he was doing this, writing this, and that there was a character that he kind of wrote with me in mind or thought of me for, and of course it was an immediate yes. That, like everyone here said, he's incredibly funny, so I didn't even have to read it, but of course I did. And I assumed I would be playing a robot in a red dress, or maybe a green dress to change things up, turn it a little Christmassy or something, but no, I'm playing Louise. And Louise likes conventions as well, but she goes to, can I say?
Oh yeah, we say it in the trailer. It's a doll convention. She goes to doll conventions.
I go to doll conventions, so we go on a date and we have a little bit of fun, but I don't come across as necessarily having a doll to begin with. It's a thing called Reborn, and so I was actually very pleased that I got to play somebody not like myself, even though I kind of come off like myself a little bit.
And the comedy. You get to see Trisha do a comedy. I've never seen that before, and you're very funny. I mean, all the way to pratfalls and stuff, physical comedy and stuff. It's going to be, I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah, I was very excited to get to do some comedy and also for you to think of me that way. And then I thought, wait, what is he trying to tell me that he thought of me while he was writing this role? There's some hidden meaning in there that I haven't quite figured out, but on set it was super fun, and I will say that Alan got me to kiss in a way I've never got to kiss before.
What's
I'll have
that?
to wait and see.
She said you got her to kiss in a way that she's never kissed before.
That is true.
Oh, Trisha, I just wrote this one extra scene.
It was written
We got a
on
lot
the
of
day.
film, so we're just going to take this until we get it right. It took a week to get that.
Yeah.
Much respect. We did that scene too.
Everybody had to do that scene. It was fun.
You guys, I sincerely apologize. I have to go to another panel.
What panel are you going to?
I know I'm overbooked, but I do want to say, Alan, it's all for you. I love you a lot. This thing is amazing. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Bye, Seth Green. There we go. Get out! You get out of here! How dare you! Don't hug him! Get out of here, Seth Green! Stop touching people! Leave! How dare you! You get out of here, Seth! And don't you come back!
You got the red light.
Look, everybody's leaving.
No, don't! You sit down! How dare you!
Yeah, Nolan and I got time. We're good.
Seth's
Oh no, she's stalking Seth. That's why. Okay, got it. Totally makes sense.
I feel like I've lost my son.
We can do another one.
Those redheads stick together.
No, Seth Green is dead. Forget about him. He'd want us to move on. Mindy Sterling, how did you get involved with the project, and what do you do?
For a living?
No, I know what you do for a living. You're one of the funniest people I've ever met in my
life.
life. What do you do for Con Man?
Well, I think I am the only one on the panel that never met or knew who Alan Tudyk was. I mean, I saw him in some, series and stuff, but I I really did not. We were not friends. We had no history. I didn't owe him anything. My call was first, through my agent, you want to do this thing, it's about Comic-Con, and I was in the script, and I read it, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I, too, done and still do cons. So I really did love it, and was very excited. I loved the whole campaign and how it was created. It was very, very different. I love different, I love dark, so this is perfect for me. And so I play Bobby, the very, very colorful sort of, she's dying to be his talent manager, con manager, agent, whatever she can get her hands on. A little controlling, likes to sleep around, wears, every episode she wears a different wig. I love doing all of that. I found it fascinating and fun, and I think that Alan and I had met, I think twice, just to go over the script and everything before we started working, and instantly, it was just chemistry. I just loved working with him. He always helped me with my lines. While we were shooting, he literally would be on the other side and mouth my lines for me, because I have a tendency to just blank and forget. And so yes, he would just do that, and I would try to say what he wanted me to say. So I hope that it came out okay. But I thought, I mean, the whole experience was amazing. He is so smart, and he was so in the zone, and yet never yelled, never seemed annoyed, never seemed like he was going to quit, and yet bombarded constantly with, little things here and there. So really the most generous and most innovative and interesting people to work with. So I am so glad to be a part of his, hopefully, his life now.
Get out of here. What was the original goal for the campaign?
Well, PJ Harsma. Hey, PJ!
Hey, buddy!
We had talked about just funding the first 3 episodes, and that was what it was, the first 3 episodes, because we figured it was a half hour, and that was one storyline, and if we could just make that, we could just make a pilot, then people could get an idea of what it is. But there were 3 more half-hour episodes that were finished at that point, so we could keep going. And then it became, because the fans were so amazing, because there was so much support, that we had been talking about books, because PJ's written four novels, 4 sci-fi novels prior to this. And we wanted to write another book. We'd written the first chapter, he wrote it, and I just sit there and go, what about this line? And then comic books, we a game, but that was all, we backburnered all of that. But since the fans were so enthusiastic and involved, they gave us a lot of money is what I'm trying to say. Since they gave us so much money, we were able to keep going, well, if y'all want, we'll do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do this. So we initially just wanted 3 10-minute episodes. That was gonna be, we can make it. We'll be able to show you what it is, and now we get to show you a lot, a great deal, and we're looking forward to it.
So you chartered a jet to Disney World. No, I think when people hear a number like $3.2 million, they go, oh, that's so much money, you could probably, but that money goes really fast, especially if you're trying to make something of that scope, and you could see the effect, like the show looks amazing. So is that, and like, were you amazed at how quickly you can burn through money when you're trying to make something?
PJ?
It would go like this. When I first read the script, I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever read.
You need a microphone, PJ.
I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever read, but I took him aside and I go, Alan, you've got a convention for a scene. And he's like, no, don't worry, we'll just put up a curtain, and we'll put 4 people in front of a curtain, we'll pretend it's a convention. Cut to renting the Long Beach Convention Center, building an entire con. And then he called me the night before and goes, remember that scene with the alien and the cave? We just do that as a comic panel? Oh, I need to do a real one now. So
That
can
was
you get me a cave? Can you get me a cave?
for 3 lines. It was like, did we seriously just put a cave together for 3 lines? Yeah. Maybe I should have written more lines for the cave scene. So, I'm not saying I wasted it.
Now you got a sweet cave.
Actually, the cave was free because we have an amazing production designer, and she just made things happen.
Holy
It's like,
crap, free cave.
Yeah, she goes, I know, like, so is this a real cave? Because she has a German accent. Is this a real cave that you want? And I was like, yeah, I know how to get a cave.
Oh.
I have a cave, it's orange, and it looks as if it's been shaped by water. Great, I'll have it. For free. And so she pulled all kinds of strings, and there's, on the spaceship, some of it is really, really amazing, and then, like, these things for the, like, there's balls in my, anyway, whatever.
Whoa, go back to that part.
I'm like, hold on to these balls.
I have some balls that look as though they've been shaped by water. Oh, okay.
They're actually very expensive. But when I fly the spaceship, I pick them up, and then you get all of that hologram stuff, and that's how you fly the spaceship. Turn it. But the things that the ball set on, I think, were bottoms of soda bottles that were painted. So you've got things like that because we were stretching the budget, and then also a lot of. I got that hallway, and as she said, this would be the most expensive 20 minutes ever. Because it's about how much we spent on that. Anyway, I don't want to say I wasted it.
No.
We have that in storage now, by the way. It didn't just get burned at the end. It's hopefully we'll make more with the spaceship.
Felicia, I would love to. Hi, Felicia.
Hi.
How's it going? Felicia. So when did you come on, and what did you do, and just tell us stuff.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Alan sent me the script about a year ago, actually, and because my middle name is Web Series. Oh, Web Series.
It's true.
It's true. Google it. I'm that. It's in the Wikipedia. So he said, hey, I was thinking about doing this a web series. What do you think? Is it a good idea? And I read it, and it was so good and funny, and I could see him in it so clearly, and I was very fortunate to be in Dr. Horrible. Just a little thing. So I had a feeling when I read the script that he could blow up the world the way that Dr. Horrible did, and I was like, oh my God, please do this. And I love breaking the system, and the fact that they decided to do the crowdfunding, and they did it in such an amazing way, and the support was incredible, and their consideration to the fans, it just blew me away. And of course, underneath it is all like, get me a part, really, hire me. So Alan called me up and was like, I have this part in the first 3 episodes, named Karen, she works for the convention, and could you do it? And we talked about it on set. We actually had never worked together before, but we were in a Dollhouse episode in separate scenes together. So there was no connection at all before then. But we met at one of Joss Whedon's Shakespeare readings.
Yes, that was the first time we ever met.
It
Doing
was.
Cleopatra, where Morena Baccarin was Cleopatra.
She was Cleopatra.
She was amazing.
What sort of weird, crazy lives do you guys lead? We went to Joss Whedon's and just did some Shakespeare with Morena Baccarin.
Well,
You know, and then some dragons showed up. Like, it's just crazy.
I was segueing into something beautiful, Chris.
I'm sorry, Felicia.
About how it is a family, and people wouldn't think about it, but the actors at cons form a family. We travel a lot, and we see each other, and we hang out and have drinks, and it really, whenever, you know, it just feels like coming home when you're hanging with a lot of the crew. I mean, I just met you, but
And you love me.
But you form a family on a set, and you form a family at a con, and this kind of has the beautifuln's of both worlds combined, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. So thank you, Alan.
Excellent. Will Wheaton in your Ravenclaw tie. Yeah, I know, me too. Ravenclaw all the way. Gryffindors are jocks. Yeah, Gryffindors are jocks, Ravenclaws are nerds, Slytherins are douchebags, and Hufflepuffs are Hufflepuffs. What do you want?
Before I answer the question,
Can you believe we're in a Hall H together?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, you know, Will, not to bore the crap out of you guys, but you know, when Will and I were teenagers, well, Will was famous ensign. But we lived together in Westwood. We were going to UCLA and just...
We need to get a time machine and like Bill and Ted style, go back and just knock on the door of the apartment on Strathmore and be like, you guys, in like 20 years, it's gonna be the coolest thing ever.
And then our younger selves are gonna be like, why don't you guys shave once in a while?
Who are those guys? So I got, Nathan texted me one morning, which is a thing I can say, which is really weird. And was like, hey, Alan and I are doing this thing and we're gonna crowdfund it and it would be really neat if you would like just tell Twitter about it. And my response was, you don't need me, Nathan. Like, you've got this. And like...
We all need a little Will inside.
45 minutes later, when it's blown through whatever their funding goal is, I texted Nathan back and I was like, congratulations. Do you still want me to do it? And he was like, no, it would be great if you did. So I did. And then months went by, and now everyone I know is working on Con Man. And I'm getting sadder and sadder, and drunker, and I'm buying myself things on Amazon to try to fill the gaps. The bottles are littering my office, and I haven't changed my clothes in like a week, and I get an email, and the email says, Alan Tudyk would love for you to come do this thing in Con Man. And my response was, what's Chris Hardwick doing that he wasn't available?
All right.
Which is generally my first response to whenever anyone asks me to do anything.
That's great, that's not, come on.
And they were like, he's doing at midnight and can't make it. Would you please come and do this? And I said I didn't even have to know what it was. I didn't have to know what the character was. I said, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I would love to do it. And it would mean the world to me to come and be involved in it. And I did one of those things where I got really, really, really lucky, where I am in a scene with funnier and better and more experienced actors than me, and I get one line and it's hilarious. And it's like the easiest thing. It's one of the greatest like actor sleight of hand tricks in the world.
His role is much larger, I have to say. I had hoped to bring his character, it was lucky to bring his character in earlier, so there'll be a callback if we make more of these.
Well, I would imagine, I mean, at this point, have you been approached by anyone yet? I mean, did any larger company go, interesting, and try to scoop it up?
No.
Oh. Well, I guess that was a very bad question then.
I don't know if what that would be like. I mean, we'll see if that kind of thing happens, but I don't know. It was a frustrating process when we did approach them, so I don't know what that would be like.
Yeah. And of course, you talk to studio people, they're like, Alan, we always knew this would be a big hit. They always want to take credit for shit.
Yeah.
Even when they didn't do anything.
I have to say, my agents fired me.
Yeah. They can't fire you. They work for you. What are you talking about?
They're like, it's pilot season. I said, you know what? I've got to focus because it's the second pilot season. I'm like, I'm sitting out for Con Man. I really want to get this made. And they said, I can do something in 6 months. And they said, yeah. Well, we'd love for you to do that with someone else. And
oh my God, the suck it list is growing with you. Like, there are so many people who can suck it at this point. And I hope that this is the biggest thing ever, because then you have that moment where people come back and they're like, hey, and you're like, that's weird. I mean, Alan and I met in 2001. We did a pilot together, which we were convinced was going to get picked up. We played brothers. All the Friends people produced it. So we were already talking about what cars we were going to buy. And And it had an amazing cast. It was like Kathy Moriarty and Leslie Ann Warren and Dan Hedaya and us, and then nothing, and then nothing after.
How do you
that.
kill a cactus?
That was one of the jokes.
That was one of my.
Yeah, and I came out in my underwear. I was chunkier then, and so that was funny.
You had a jelly donut bit where you bit into it was like the last thing, like, you bit into it and had to blob all over you. And that was the
hilarious antics, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, people were like, you should host things. And I'm like, okay. Sounds good. but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when you look at the scope of this project and you realize that, as I said, all these people are fan favorites. It was funded by fans, and it's about fandom and fans. I mean, I think it's just this sort of to be honest, I think it's better that no one got their grubby corporate mitts on it, because you wouldn't be able to tell the story in an authentic way without someone leaning in and screwing it up.
With fans. Like, the group, the people that you see in the background are fans. We were able to give lines. What?
The Guild of Extras.
The Guild of Extras.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes, they named themselves the Guild of Extras. But we got to eat lunch, hang out all day long. People got lines. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Like, the community didn't stop right there. They came in and we made this together. And we really made it together. So, and not just figuratively, we made it together. They hung out in that hot comic book store all day long. When we shot there, this is really, it really feels like family.
There's so many people on the panel that I think we should allow some extra time for Q&A. So if you want to...
Let me just really quickly say, PJ Harzma, this could not have been made without you. I feel like people don't know PJ, and also his daughter is here, Skylar, who is in Spectrum, and she's amazing in Spectrum. She's the one with the glowing eyes. She was brilliant, and what a good debut for you, Skylar. No. But PJ, we call ourselves producers, but PJ's the producer. PJ knows what he's doing, and honestly, you can't... And why it looks so good is because of PJ.
And that hair.
Yeah, that hair.
That shock of hair.
It's
just like an ocean wave crashing on a shore.
A gray ocean.
Gorgeous. You silver fox. Sky, can you hear us down there? Sky, can you hear? You can't. Okay.
And she's not listening.
Sky, did you have fun working on this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Skylar took my direction kind of poorly because I was just so, it was just complex. So Nathan did all of her direction. Remember, use your imagination.
So we have to create the hashtag Imaginathan right now and make it trend. Hi, what's your name?
Wait, have we agreed on a spelling for imaginatum?
Imagine, I-M-A-G-I-N-I-N-A-T-H-A-N. Imagine Nathan.
Hashtag in a...
This is how it happened.
Okay, but I'm just telling you that it looks like Imagine-a-than. I'm a Gin-a-than. All right, well, guess what? The internet is about to try to figure out what this means.
Yes. It's kind of like the first time in the winter I hashtag let it snow in all lowercase. People were like, "Letits now?" Like, can you remember that? So I had to go and capitalize.
It's like Saturday Night.
I'm French and I'm happy about winter. What can I say? What is your name, ma'am?
Hi, my name's Sherry.
And what is your question?
My question's for Alan. First of all, Alan, I am very honored to...
What the hell?
What?
What is that?
That's crazy.
Yes.
How did you do that so fast? Wait, were you in it?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
How did you do that?
I stayed up till 2 in the morning with a bunch of markers and sewed some stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Last night. Yeah.
You have got to be Con Man fan number one. Like if there was a fan club, you would have to be number one.
I don't know. I'm just, honestly, I'm very proud to say that I'm an Indiegogo funder, and thank you to all the cast and the crew and everybody that was involved with Conman, PJ, Nathan, Alan, Michael, Will, all you guys. This is like a dream come true for so many of us. And Alan, you know what? You walked out here in a wash costume, but you know what, bro? I am proud to represent Alan Tudyk as Ray Nearly as Cash Wayne.
Thank you very much.
My question is, what's been the most rewarding part for you, Alan?
Wait,
Conception
hang on a sec.
to...
I want you to ask that question in a second, but Alan, put the camera back on her. Put the camera back on her. Alan, stand in front of that. Because it's just going to take too much time. And give her a, yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, this is going to be good. I will make sure and get that to you. I will find you! Okay, so you had a serious question. What was it?
Yes, Alan, from the moment of conception of Con Man to now, post-production, still having fun with it, what has been the most rewarding thing for you?
The most rewarding thing is watching actors and being in when I have my director hat on, watching actors take something that I wrote that I'll be like, there's a joke here, there's a funny thing here, there's a funny thing here that I'm looking forward to doing, and then handing it over to them and watching it just be funny thing that I hadn't even imagined. That it just, like, Truco, your thing, I mean, from the moment you go, hey, what's going on? I almost shot you. I'm sorry, no, I'm working through it. Wow! And like, what in the hell? And it happened with everybody. I mean, it would just bring me so much joy, like crazy amount of joy. Something I hadn't experienced before. Not joy. My first girlfriend's name was, so I had total joy.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of joy.
Wait, before you go, what is your Twitter handle so I can tweet that picture at you?
It's Shelby Pilot.
Shelby, S-H-E-L-B-Y?
Yes, like the car, Pilot.
Pilot. Shelby and Pilot. All right, done.
You're gonna pick up a ton of followers just now. You know that, right? Your follow list just went through the roof.
Oh, I was blessed to meet you last summer here at Nerd HQ, and I was blessed to meet Nathan last year too. Hi, PJ.
Well, thank you.
That's ketchup on there.
There's a little ketchup. Hey, give us some fries with that. It'll be great.
Ironically, she's never going to wash it.
Hey, Chris. Hey,
Chris Hardwick.
You know, there's one thing I just want to add something to what Alan said. From our perspective, the idea that somebody who's written something and made something so hysterical and giving us the freedom to do that kind of thing is rare. And that collaborative spirit that was on this set is like, very few things I've ever worked on were like that. So, I mean, when you give people that kind of freedom, I'm sure everybody would agree with that. I mean, what he wrote was brilliant, and just to be able to add or you know, just play with it was something we all appreciated.
It only makes it better. You've got one of my favorite. You've got one of I always give away a joke, and you gave it to Mindy. So talk about, you know, being generous.
Well, she needs some help.
Mindy, shots fired. Mindy, do you know what line I'm talking about?
What?
Do you know what line I'm talking about when Bobby mentions her first husband?
Which one?
It's at the ladder. Remember the ladder?
Oh, the ladder. When
you're standing at the ladder, you say.
Been there.
He says, there's a big. Don't ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin it.
Save it.
Watch the show.
But they're standing a ladder. He has a line where he asks her a question about her
Something.
sexual history, and she answers about her first husband. That's Nolan North's line that I actually heard him first say that joke when we were on the set of Uncharted. So anyway.
Just use your imaginations.
Nice time.
I think the idea is that we all work together nicely.
Hi, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Maggie or Magdalene, and first I'd like to say thank you to Nathan. You made my sister Rachel, her wish, really special on the set of Castle, so
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
She really appreciated it, and we appreciated it. Sorry. And then I'd like to ask, what were some of the hardest things for just everybody having it be a fan-funded thing and a web series? I know it's a lot different, so just what were some of the hardest things?
What were some of the hardest parts?
I think, convincing some agents, that was actually the hard part. Like when we would approach certain people that weren't in our immediate circle to get in contact with the actors that they represent to say, hey, we're doing this crowdfunded thing, that they would just blow us off.
Yeah, it is. I hope you guys understand a lot of times there is sort of a representative firewall where PR people or agents will just automatically say no to stuff, and then someone will go, why did you do this thing? You're like, I didn't even know about it, so it is, you are lucky if you have an agent that will actually say, that has a little bit of vision and will go, hey, this sounds really cool, it's a lot of people maybe you should do this thing, as opposed to web series, click,
Yep. That was probably the most frustrating thing. I don't know how hard it was. As a web series, it's kind of a different thing, but we used a lot of the people that we used who were the crew, they were top notch. Right, PJ? I mean, they were, a lot of them were from S.H.I.E.L.D., the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because they were off. Our DP, Jay, he did the Much Ado About Nothing with you. And he told me a story about you saving his life.
Yeah.
You saved his life on Much Ado About Nothing.
Remember George? George actually lit Interstellar.
What's that?
The gaffer lit Interstellar. And with that,
we did Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these were and I think it shows when you get to see it, or if you watch the trailer several times, whatever you do, that it looks, it looks very well done. We got great cameras and great people working on it, and we're going to continue to do that in post. And I hope we're able to show people and re-educate people about what the web can be. I mean, I think they're all talking about, they want to reach out, they're trying to figure it out, and they really are. We talked to a lot of people when we were shopping this around, and they're all trying to figure out how to milk the money out of it, but, so we'll take 90% of it, we'll give you 10. That's where the conversation starts. Anyway, that the idea that the web is just some little thing, it can be a lot of things, and as we all know, that productions can be high production value, and that it can be hopefully very good.
Yeah, because with with web content, it's, I think, first and foremost, because you have to understand, it's a crowd-funded platform. Because people don't watch stuff on the web unless it's shared to them by other people who liked it.
Right.
And I think first and foremost, and actually that's a good question for Felicia and Will too, is that stuff, I think, just needs to be authentic to resonate with people, and you can't fake authenticity, and I think that's why bigger media has such a problem conquering digital content, because they just look at it as oh, there's billions of people on here, we gotta, where do we squeeze the money out of it? But it just doesn't work that way, It's more about creating authentic content. Would you agree with that, Felicia Day?
I think that when you create on the scale... You asked Felicia because you were looking at me.
I'm sorry, Felicia, I was talking to Will, sitting next to you.
No, I didn't.
No, both of you, yeah, both of
We
you.
can both go. Yeah, you go.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm the guy that's
No, you
talking to the
are.
woman
You
who's asked the
are.
question.
It was. No, not at all. He was looking. He has a little tick in his eye. It's weird.
Yeah.
It was like somewhere here.
I mean, Will, I feel like I'm always kind
were
of
you
staring
talking
at
to?
you.
It was both of us. Yes, I agree with you. The authenticity, and that's why I said when I read it, there's an authentic quality to Con Man, and I think to anything that's really popular on the web, that it's an organic vision, and I think Hollywood tends to sort of package things in what they think that people will want.
And they
Great
focus
things.
group it to death.
Exactly, and I think the web is amazing because the audience can tell people what they want and encourage it.
I think that one of the things that sets apart really well done web content from legacy media companies trying to just make a thing and put it on the web because somehow lots of people see it in some weird way, question mark, profit. What I think they don't realize is that when we make something online, there's a legitimate, genuine, overriding passion that drives us to create in this way. That makes us feel like it's okay to get on the phone to our friends and say, look, none of us are getting rich off of this, but we love it and we think it's really great. Would you come and do this with us? And that really comes through on the screen. I came onto Con Man toward like one of the last days of production, generally when a crew is really wiped out, especially after a really long shoot, and everybody, it felt like the second day. Everybody was so happy to be there and working so hard together, and that comes through to the audience in a way that like a focus grouped, top-down, giant network thing just never quite gets there. They can never quite cross that like uncanny valley of like pretending to be excited about a thing and being legitimately excited about a thing.
I enjoyed your milking.
Yeah, that was.
I'm very excited.
This is how I talk about it.
I'm also
Well,
pretending
listen,
to
I
be-
do a lot of my thinking early in the morning when I'm just out there. I'm milking my goats and we're just talking
Casper,
about
can we get a camera on
stuff,
Casper? I think he's milking. He's doing a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's just go down the line
You got
there.
Satan's eyeballs and you're thinking about stuff.
I just learned that Will Wheaton has the tattoo of a giant octopus on his arm.
Is it a Cthulhu or is it an octopus?
I have a tattoo of an octopus. I have a tattoo of my wife's heartbeat.
Oh.
I just
and then I have
learned
a
this
tattoo
about
of a
you.
pinup girl that you can't see.
That's so Will Wheaton.
Hey, guys, I'm kind of in a gang, okay?
Bye.
Michael.
Look at that. I intimidated Truco right off the stage.
Sugar was like, shit, I got someone's heartbeat on my arm. Hey, what are your names?
So I'm Josh. This is
Oh my God.
and little Al.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. I have to say, that is a very realistic baby. I mean, it's moving and everything. That's incredible. You guys look amazing. Do you
It's
have
like looking in the
collective-
mirror.
Do you have a collective question?
Which one's Wash? Can a Wash go up there?
No, he's dead. Let it go.
You can be our watch.
All right.
Okay, so this is a little overwhelming. This is an amazing panel to talk to. Our question was for Alan and Nathan. Alan, when you were coming up with the show, did you think of an idea and say, Nathan will be great for this? Or have you guys been working for like a few years to just get the gang back together?
It was part of the original idea that Nathan was the Jack Moore role, that he was the one who went on to a great success. It fits his personality. It just fits. It fits. Your life is very large, my friend. It is a big life. You know, when we were shooting, it was, part of our scheduling was like, well, Nathan's going to be in Australia. You were at cons, but in Australia for this portion of time, and then you were there for a few days, and then at the wrap party, it was like, Nathan can't be here because he's in Mexico. Like, you're moving, and then Castle takes up a lot of your time, and Jack Moore, yeah. To say a lot of your time is really is an understatement, but Ray is always trying to reach out and see his friend Jack, and his life is so big and he's so busy, he has trouble getting a hold of him. And which is why Allison's role as his assistant is, I end up seeing her. She's sort of his representative. He'll be like, come over, let's go to the batting cages. And I show up the batting cages and there's Allison. Yeah, he couldn't make it.
I'm terrible at batting cages, Alan. Don't write that in.
Alan and I, we are dying to work together. We always want to work together. We'd love to do that stuff. It's never in our control. Until now. And I really like that about, there's a lot of people in Hollywood who are content to, in the entertainment industry, to sit back and wait till something happens and resent everyone when it doesn't. Or there are the people who say, I'm going to make something happen. And it's really neat to see Alan become that person.
Yeah, and it's also a good lesson for you that if you're passionate about something, you should go make your thing. Like, you should just go make it.
Absolutely.
And don't wait for someone, don't wait for some large corporation to come in, because Will's right. Most of the legacy media companies, except for the Hearst Corporation, which does fine work, most of the legacy media corporations won't, they just don't think that way. They don't go, you can't go, well, this is fueled by passion, and people are, it's authentic, and people, Michael Trucco came back, everybody! Somebody had to take a pee break, I think. Somebody had to take a pee break. I know, I think there was a point, I was like, did we just piss him off? What happened? We just took it up. I just leave, I didn't say goodbye.
I had another panel.
Yeah, but anyway.
It was real short.
Anyway, go make your thing. You don't need to raise $3 million to make your thing. You can just go make it today.
It does help.
It does help. Helps if you're on Firefly and you're, but fine, but to go make your thing. What is your name, sir? Mike, what is your question?
Well, I just want to say my wife sent me up here because she thought Nathan's hot, so she's making me ask him a question.
Sometimes. She's just back there tightening the pants she's wearing, clearly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
My question is, how'd you guys determine that Nathan was going to be the action hero? Was that kind of inspired by the fact that he's so busy, so he's kind of hard to get a hold of, which seems like it's going on in the show?
So what's the question? Like, how?
I think it was more. I think what his wife wants to know is, how did you, find this role for Nathan? Is that right? Like,
yeah.
what was it based on? Were you kind of basing it on Nathan, or were you considering him for other stuff?
No, we wanted to work together, and it just made sense. Also, part of it was, written around the idea that we might not be able to, he might be shooting Castle while we were doing it. And it just kind of that influenced the role, and that we would need to be like grabbing him on weekends and things like that. We didn't know in what capacity we were going to be able to work with you and all of that. So it just fell into place and made sense. And Nathan's a leading man. Yeah. I don't need to tell y'all.
Nathan, and Nathan Phillips. Nathan represents the best alignment, which is chaotic good. Like, he represents, he's the sort of the lovable scoundrel, and it doesn't matter what he does, you just want to love him, no matter what he does. Like, he's the
And I have a +4 dexterity vest.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. Hello.
Wow.
Wow, nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, the microphone's not. There we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. So we are part of the, what was it, the Guild of Extras? Yes. Is that what you guys call it? All right, so we're a team. And we just wanted to say, even though there was absolutely no pay, it was a true honor to be on there. We came running as soon as we heard. We're like, are you kidding? We stumbled over each other with our outfits and everything to be a part of your show. I just want to say, whenever, I don't know about everyone else in this room, I'm pretty sure they can understand that when you have a shitty week, you throw on Firefly and life is good. Period. Like, so the idea that you are coming back, even in a spoof version of this, makes all of us want to cry a little bit, and we're shut up and take our money. So. And then you have the epic cast of fandom that you just decided to bring in just for fun. That's good. That's good. So we just wanted to say we love you guys. Thank you for all the work you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for being in it. PJ, did they really not get paid?
What?
Oh, this is awkward.
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
I
do
believe you can
expect
have extras or you can have a cave, Alan. Make your choice.
What was your name, sir?
I am Brandon Hillock, and this is my team from the Looking Glass Wars.
Excellent. Brandon, I'll be expecting a royalty check from white guys who look similar, which includes me, Charlie Day, Matt Bellamy, and Aaron Paul. So we'll be looking for that.
Those are tattoos of me.
We'd like to say thank you. So you got some tattoos of Alan's face.
Yep.
Being
Just
delivered
as good as
right
money.
now.
In this, it's a spectrum thing.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you
The
so
next
much.
person gets some ketchup.
You guys. It was amazing, by the way.
Signed by me.
You are literally signing that ketchup.
Yes, I am. It's the first bottle of ketchup I've signed. So.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Melissa. First of all, what did you my sister Amanda says hi. My Keaton says hi. This is for Alan, Nathan, and Felicia. When you first decided to pursue acting, did you have like a goal or someone that you wanted to work with as like, yeah, I did it?
Yeah, who's someone that you wanted to work with that you finally were able to work with?
Oh, that I was able to?
Yeah.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
That's not a lie. You know, I auditioned for Buffy. Didn't get it.
But you still got to be in the series. though.
Yeah.
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 But he auditioned for Buffy. I mean, you need to tell the whole story.
And he almost got it too. He's good.
Yeah.
I am an actor. The one thing I can't do is act small.
Who did you audition for, Buffy?
Angel!
You auditioned for Angel!
Yeah, David was awesome though.
Has anyone ever seen an episode of Bones? What happens on that show? I've never seen Bones. It's been on for a while.
Bones, or as I like to call it, the other castle.
That was amazing. Castle 2.
Next out.
Button Lady! Hi, Button Lady. Hi.
Those are all in her flesh.
Oh, hey, you were on set.
Activate her microphone.
I was on set, yes. I want to thank you, Alan, for treating the extras so nicely and so personably and not being afraid of us, and hopefully nothing horrible happened with your fans touching.
No, there was a cake that day, wasn't there?
Alan, was this the con scenes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So you saw Jerry Lansing.
I did see Jerry Lansing. He was amazing.
I apologize for everything and anything I said.
I wish there was a longer reel of just your ad-libs.
Oh, no. They'll take my kids away. They call.
Hopefully your cast and crew enjoyed the buttons that I gave them. And my question is, when is that trailer going to be appropriately available online? And when's season 2?
Season 2.
Yeah, so the trailer's available when?
6 p.m. tonight.
6 p.m. tonight. And what about season 2?
Is that season 2, 6 p.m.?
Well, we'd love to do a season 2, obviously. We're going to see how this one goes. If it's popular, you know, I was thinking about this. What if this thing is popular, what does that mean? And I think it means if you create something and people like it, then you get to create more. And so I have so many stories, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. Now that, when people found out about this, people will approach and go, oh, you got to hear this story. Oh my God. And they're really good. So keep coming with those. We're
going to pass a collection plate around for $3 million.
We hope the next time around to, we don't know what the next season will be, but we hope to use somebody else's money.
I think the important thing is you guys like, you know, watch it, support fan-made stuff,
Yeah.
spread, you know, send it to all of your friends because that's the only way that this works and that they would be able to make more. So you have some responsibility. If you like stuff, you are now empowered to make that manifest in real life. So when you watch it, spread it around, spread the word, tell everyone about Con Man. Thank you so much, Button Lady. I think we just have time for one more question. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Kate, and I just wanted to say congratulations, Alan. I am looking forward to my cameo in Con Man. My question is for Alan and Nathan, and it is, what are you personally a big fan of, and what is the craziest thing you've done as a fan of it?
Oh yeah. So what are you a fan of, and then how did your fandom express itself in a crazy way?
I'm a fan of Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. A friend of mine owns a wolf hybrid that looks a lot like a wolf, and I did a little photo shoot with it. And I'm proud.
Also, your other friend hosts Talking Dead, but don't worry about this, man. Alan.
I'm a fan of Gotham. And I met the Penguin at a con, whose name is, everyone together, Robin. We're friends.
Robin Lord Taylor.
Robin Lord Taylor.
Yes.
I said that.
Yep. The microphone just got garbled.
Yeah,
so you said Robin
it's
Lord Taylor.
tough. It's a reverb.
Yeah.
But I met him, and I was pretty goofy around him. Like, wow, you're so good. I mean, wow, it's really good to me. I really love your performance. I mean, every week you really deliver. So that was recently. I forget. It's been a lot. I've had several. But that's the most recent.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to end this. Everyone kind of go down and just name someone that you were nervous that you met and how that went really quickly.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm sitting next to him.
This is not a joke, but as a huge Star Trek fan, when I met Will Wheaton, I lost it. It was at Comic-Con, and Will and I
Points me!
backstage at Hardwick's show and like nerded out over Doctor Who together, and then like had a dance party somewhere, and then we were like, we should be friends, and I was like, I'm friends with Will Wheaton.
We had Harrison Ford on the podcast a couple years ago, and I could not contain my fandom. So it's the most nervous I've ever been on a podcast, and he's funny because he's half pretends to be cranky, and then is half kind of cranky. And so I was like, you know how hard it is not to ask you questions about the Indiana Jones and Star Wars? And he was like, try harder. Which to him was probably hilarious, because he did a panel in here, I moderated a panel in here, and the first person that asked the question was like, and he's probably gotten this for decades, like, Mr. Ford, big man, I was just wondering, what would Indiana Jones say if he met Han Solo? And Harrison Ford just goes, hello? Yeah, I withdraw my question. Nolan?
Mine's actually different. I was named after Nolan Ryan, the famous baseball player. And in high school, I was actually scouted by the Texas Rangers, and I got to go up to, I lived in New England, and I got to go up to meet the general manager and go out on Fenway Park and meet him. And then Nolan Ryan came from doing his warm-ups, and he started walking at me, and I swear as he got closer, I just got smaller. And it was just, and I sat in the dugout at Fenway Park with him for about 20 minutes and talked baseball, and I remember sitting there like I was 8, and it just, to this day, it just gives me goosebumps. Yeah, that'd be it.
What about you, Casper?
Mine's a baseball one too. I got to meet Reggie Jackson. I was doing promo for Sleepy Hollow in New York. And Reggie Jackson walked up and he goes, I have no idea who you are. But he went right up to my wife, he goes, but I know who you are. And I'm like, Reggie Jackson's in the And my wife is like, who's Reggie Jackson? Oh my God! The best day of my life! And then the next day I saw him in the gym and I'm on the treadmill and I'm running next to him like, hi Reggie! And he goes, Oh my God. And I'm like, oh, so anyhow, Reggie, and then I tripped and fell and fired up the treadmill, went that way. And I got right back on and I started running and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm okay. And he goes, you know, she's way out of your league.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Trisha, do you have one?
True story.
Mine's also a sports one. I participated in the pro celebrity football game 2 years ago, and I've never played football in my life. And there's only 2 girls, you know, the token girls were on it. We never got thrown to it all, but in practice, Dan Marino was my quarterback, and in practice he could see that one of the girls and I were kind of throwing it back and forth, and like, oh, she's kind of athletic. That's good. I'm gonna throw it to her. I gotta throw it to a girl. So they've been throwing it to the guys, and I've been watching their plays. You know, they run up this way, and then they cut that way, and then they turn around, and the ball's floating to them. Great. So Dan comes up to me. He's like, all right, I'm gonna throw it to you this time. And there's a specialty spot where if you catch it in this spot, we get extra points. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna run right there. Nobody's looking for the girl. I run right there. Then I go to turn, and I think I've got like another 10 feet to run, like all the other plays. And that bullet hit me so fast, it was right to the spot. It was not one of those plays, but because I don't know the plays. And I caught it, and I fumbled. Oh. He didn't really want to speak to me after that.
What about you, Mindy Sterling?
For me, I got a chance to meet and work with Warren Beatty.
Oh.
And we were talking, he was talking to me and really liking me. We were just, going on and sharing. And he said, you know what, I'm going to invite you to my Christmas party. And I said, oh my God, that's great. Oh, can I bring my stuff? So awesome. Thank you so much. And I never heard from him again.
What? You son of a bitch, Warren Beatty! How dare you, Felicia?
Jean-Luc Picard. I met him in a green room. He has no name. He has no other name. That man. He's so handsome. Oh. Why you look at me like that?
He has no other name, really?
Okay, he has another name, but when I saw him, his glory, I saw him in a unitard. It was all I saw. I was an idiot. I was such an asshole.
Can I tell the Patrick Stewart story?
No. Wait, if you're gonna tell the one I think you're gonna tell.
Patrick Stewart apparently was humorless in the beginning of Star Trek,
yes.
And then they all kind of got together and they're like, you need to lighten up. And he was like, okay. So, Will and I were actually friends during when he was doing Star Trek, and so they would shoot these scenes, and then Patrick would just in the middle of the scene go, Ensign Crusher, set a course for Vector 5, and then come here and give me a blow.
True story.
You know, Ensign Crusher, when the Grecian general would take a young boy out on campaign.
True story.
And he got very funny. This is totally true. Who was yours?
I hope you all got to watch Felicia's emotional journey during Mindy's Warren Beatty story, because that was pretty incredible. So I was at a convention just recently, like probably 2 months or so ago, up in Ottawa, Canada, and Billy Piper was there. And I'm a ginormous Doctor Who fan, and I was like not gonna be. I was gonna be cool, and I was not gonna I wasn't gonna turn into the thing I turned into when I met Henry Rollins. I'm not gonna do that. And Marina Sirtis, who played Counselor Troy on Next Generation, who's a good friend of mine, knows Billy Piper really well. And she's like, oh, come on, I'm going to introduce you. And I'm like, I don't know, don't introduce. And then I'm in front of Billy Piper, and I'm like, hi, I love you. And I'm not gonna do to you what people do to me sometimes, but oh my God, I'm doing it. And when you were on, I love Doctor Who, but Secret Art of Cowgirl is amazing, and I just think you're really great, and you're so pretty. And Billie Piper stands up and hugs me. And she kisses me on the cheek, which is why I have a giant beard, because I don't ever want to wash my face. And she says, "You are lovely. It is such a pleasure to meet you, my love."
You know what though? Okay. You know what though? You totally have a secret power which most people don't have, because when you were on the podcast a couple years ago with Matt and Karen Gillan, and you were like, "Karen Gillan, so much, you're so," and she was like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." And then I go, "Oh, Will was in Stand By Me." "You were in Stand By Me?" And then she totally flipped out over you. So you can play that card sometimes, and you don't.
It's because what if they're like, I don't know what that is.
Then they're a robot and they should be killed.
Excuse me, Karen Gillan. Perhaps you were not aware that I was on Stand By Me. To which she replies, "Actually, no, I wasn't. And who let you in here?" Don't, stop. You son of a bitch.
When the night has come and the land is dark,
you are the worst. You are the worst person.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as we'll stand by me. Oh, darling, we can stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, we'll stand. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble. I swear to God, I've been wanting to do something like that since we were teenagers. Will and I went to a diner once when we were teenagers, and he was very shy about being recognized in public, and it was a 50s diner, and there was a jukebox there that took nickels. I put $10 of nickels in there and just played it on a loop. And every time it would start over, he would just cringe.
I think we actually left before I even finished the meal, because I was like, I can't do this
But I love you. I love you.
I love you too. I love that you turned Alan's panel into people singing Stand By Me.
Well, it's very difficult to have everyone go da 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 da. Alan, do you have one more thing?
Yes. I haven't introduced you guys. Billy and Barry. I'm very sorry. These guys are really important to Con Man and to Spectrum. Billy here did all of the VFX, which you saw, and Kevin's here too. He's in the audience, who also has been staying up for 16 hours making what you guys saw. And it was the last thing we shot, so how many days?
What now, what?
To do the trailer, how many days?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, we wrapped on Tuesday, so I haven't had a lot of sleep.
And
he said no sleep.
And Barry, so in the trailer you see the zombies. That's actually Billy is one of the zombies.
And Kevin.
And Kevin is the other zombie, which is so perfect.
I did the makeup.
And Barry did the makeup. And you guys, what's great in keeping in the whole family tradition of this con man, where it all just felt like we're all together, you guys are actually together.
That is true. We are indeed business partners with Mind & Machine Visual Effects, and in addition to that, we are actually life partners. And he's been wondering why the hell I'm sitting up here with all these other people that he worked with all this time, and I have a surprise for him. They were asking the cast a minute ago, who was the most amazing person you've met and worked with in Hollywood? And I just want to say, Billy Brooks, I love you with all my heart and soul. And will you please marry me? South, and we can actually go back to our home states and get married in the Carolinas now.